All right, Yuki, let's take a live look now at Capitol Hill. Senators cannot agree on how to break a logjam that has left the government shut down for nearly 29 days. A 13th Senate vote to move a GOP-backed funding bill forward failed to get the 60 votes necessary. Also today, a federal judge extended a block on reductions in force or layoffs during the shutdown. Meantime, senators on both sides of the aisle have introduced bills to fund the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, which helps 42 million Americans pay for groceries. And we also have some breaking news tonight as SNAP benefits are set to run dry by the end of the week, November 1st, actually. More than 24 states, including Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware, are now suing the Department of Agriculture, trying to force the continued funding of the food program during this shutdown. CBS News Philadelphia's Dan Snyder joins us live from the newsroom. Dan, you said you just got your hands on that lawsuit. Tell us more.
Yeah, good evening to you, Natasha. This 51-page lawsuit was filed in a Massachusetts federal court this afternoon. The state attorneys general from New Jersey and Delaware and Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro joined 22 other states and the District of Columbia in arguing a few things. One, that SNAP benefits have never been interrupted during a government shutdown before. And two, that the USDA has the money to keep benefits flowing through November.
That centers around a little more than $5 billion in contingency funding set aside specifically for SNAP. The states argue that in 2019, a shutdown under President Trump's first term, guidance was issued saying contingency reserves could be used to fund SNAP benefits. The states argue that the contingency funding is there for just this purpose. In a memo late last week, the USDA argues contingency funds are, quote, not legally available to cover for benefits during a shutdown. The department says the money is meant to cover purchases of food for people in natural disasters. However, the states argue that memo appears to be a departure from the agency's lapse of funding plan dated September 30th. According to the lawsuit, page 15 of that plan reads, quote, congressional intent is evident that SNAP's operations should continue since the program has been provided with multi-year contingency funds that can be used for state administrative expenses to ensure the state can also continue operations during a federal government shutdown. That shutdown plan has since been deleted from the USDA website. We asked the USDA for clarification on why its stance on the contingency funds changed over the last 4 weeks. They did not answer our question.
Now, in a statement, the New Jersey Attorney General said families are being used as political pawns, while Governor Shapiro called the lapse a, quote, political bargaining chip. When asked for a response to the lawsuit, a USDA spokesperson said it was, quote, an inflection point for Senate Democrats and called on them to end the shutdown. The White House has not gotten back to us. Natasha.
All right, Dan, thank you very much for that update. Now, we are in your corner. We're sharing food banks and resources in your neighborhood. You can find that on the front page of CBSPhiladelphia.com. Just click the SNAP What to Know button.